I never imagined my life could unravel over something as insignificant as a scrap of paper. Yet here I am, shattered by a simple lunch receipt. My name is Ethan Coldwell. I'm 34, a mechanical engineer living in North Carolina. 6 years ago, during a devastating flood relief mission in our town, I met Maya. We were both volunteering, drenched to the bone, hauling sandbags in the relentless rain. I remember slipping in the mud and seeing her laughter cut through the storm like sunlight. We ended up huddled beneath a volunteer tent, talking for hours. Conversations so effortless it felt like we had known each other forever. We dated for 3 years, then married. 2 years ago, our son Liam was born. Holding that tiny life in my arms, I believed that was the happiest moment of my life. Everything I had ever wanted wrapped in his small fingers. But there was a niggling doubt, buried deep. Liam's eyes weren't brown like mine or hazel like Maya's. They were a piercing, unmistakable green. I mentioned it once, softly, almost afraid to speak it aloud. Maya snapped back, defensive and sharp. My grandmother had green eyes, she said. It skips generations. It didn't sit right with me, but I was a new father. I wanted to believe. I needed to believe. Then things began to shift. Maya started going out more. Girls' nights, she said, needing to unwind from work stress. She'd come home late, sometimes well past midnight, blaming friends and headaches. Her phone was always glued to her side. I'd wake at odd hours to find her hunched over the screen. The light from the display dimmed, her back turned to me. It all came crashing down one Tuesday afternoon. I was emptying pockets before doing laundry when I found a receipt tucked inside the lining of Maya's coat. It was from a local Italian restaurant. Across town, 2 glasses of wine, dated last Tuesday at 1 p.m. But wasn't she supposed to be at a staff meeting? She'd even told me she was eating lunch at her desk. Something inside me twisted, a knot tightening in my gut. I started watching quietly. Not accusing, just observing. The credit card charges didn't add up. A gas receipt from a station 30 miles north, far from her office. Phone calls she took hurriedly in the hallway. The subtle smile she quickly hid. The change in her tone whenever I entered the room. Then came the text message, just a flash on her screen when I glanced over. Asterisk, can't stop thinking about yesterday. Risk, asterisk. When I asked who it was, she snapped. Why do you keep checking my phone? That night, I couldn't sleep. The next morning, I dropped Liam off at daycare, but instead of heading to work, I circled back and parked a block away from home. Maya left around 9:45 a.m., dressed like she was going to a dinner party, not an office job. I followed her. She drove 32 minutes to a suburban neighborhood I didn't recognize, parked in front of a large house with a police cruiser in the driveway. Of course, a cop. An hour later, she walked out with a man in uniform. They kissed right there, in broad daylight. My hands shook, my heart thundered. My world shattered. I didn't confront her, not yet. I needed more. Proof. That weekend, I searched our shared laptop and found a hidden, password-protected folder. 3 guesses later, our honeymoon location cracked the code. Inside were emails stretching back years, romantic exchanges with the man from the photos, hotel confirmations, baby name discussions. And one chilling line that felt like a knife to my chest. Asterisk, if it's yours, we'll never tell him. Asterisk. I printed every email, every message. Then I ordered a DNA test. The kit arrived in a discreet box. During bath time, I made swabbing Liam's cheek a silly game, hiding the weight of what I was doing. I sealed the sample, dropped it off, and began the longest wait of my life. 5 to 7 business days that stretched into endless nights of torment. While I waited, I noticed every lie, every inconsistency. One Thursday night, I drove past Maya's office during her supposed overtime shift. Her car wasn't there. Another time, I called her office at lunch. Her assistant said casually she'd taken the day off. It was like watching a puzzle come together, each piece revealing a new betrayal. Then came the final blow. That Wednesday morning, my hands trembling, I clicked the link to the test results. I skimmed past the medical jargon until my eyes locked on the words in bold. Probability of paternity, 0%. Not unlikely. Not inconclusive. 0. My blood turned to ice. The child I held as he took his first steps, the little boy who called me Dada. He wasn't mine. I couldn't breathe. I left the house and drove aimlessly, haunted by the image of Maya kissing that man. When I got home, I laid everything out on the kitchen table. Emails, photos, DNA reports, receipts, records. Evidence of the life I thought I knew. Then I called Maya. Can you come home? It's urgent. She arrived, panic in her eyes. Is it Liam? She asked, breathless. He's fine. At daycare. Sit down. Her eyes flicked over the table. Her face drained of color. What is this? I pushed the DNA report toward her. She didn't scream. Didn't deny. Silent tears fell. She already knew. How long? I asked. 3 years before the wedding. Was Liam ever mine? She looked down. Maybe not. Does he know? We talked. He's married now, has 2 kids. We agreed it was better this way. I didn't mean to hurt you. I love you, Ethan. No, Maya. You loved the safety net, the illusion. This was betrayal. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. Who else knows? She hesitated. His wife. She found out last year. My chest tightened. Someone else knew before I did. I'm sorry, she whispered. Too late. Pack your things. You're leaving tonight. Please, Maya. We can fix this. No. We can't. An hour later, she left with 2 suitcases. What about Liam? I'll pick him up. You figure out where to stay. Can I at least say goodbye? Not today. After she left, the silence in the house swallowed me whole. Surrounded by shattered pieces of my life, I poured a drink and stared at the high chair, the toys, the photos of a family I once believed in. Later, I picked up Liam. Those green eyes met mine. He wasn't to blame. He was just a little boy caught in the wreckage. That night, I sat in his room long after he fell asleep, wondering what came next. The next morning, I met with a divorce attorney. He reviewed the DNA report, the evidence, the timeline. This is solid, he said. We can build a case for full separation, and possibly financial restitution. The weeks since have blurred together. Maya texts constantly, begging to talk, to explain. I haven't replied. She's staying with her parents. I still don't know what to do about Liam. I raised him for 2 years. He's not mine by blood. But does that mean I should walk away? Part of me feels responsible. Another part feels broken. My marriage is over. But the fallout from her choices, that's just beginning.